Welcome back, Java enthusiasts. In today's tutorial, we're going to dive into an exciting project. We'll be building a simple game using AnimationFX. This library allows us to create smooth animations which can make our games visually appealing. Are you ready? Let's get started. First, let's make sure we have the necessary tools. You'll need JDK installed on your system, an IDE like IntelliJ or Eclipse, and of course, AnimationFX. You can download AnimationFX from their GitHub repository. Now that we have our tools ready, it's time to set up a new Java project in your IDE. Create a project called AnimationFX Game. Next, we want to add AnimationFX to our project. If you are using Maven, you can simply add the following dependency to your pom.xml file. This will allow you to easily make use of the AnimationFX library. Once your project is set up, the next step is to create our main game class. This class will be the entry point of our game application. Let's call it GameApp. Great! We have now created the basic structure of our JavaFX application. Now, let's move on to creating our game graphics. We will need a character image, so make sure you have a simple character sprite saved in your project directory. Next, let's load our character image into the application. We will do this by creating an image view component and adding it to the scene. With the character image set up, it's time to add some basic animations using AnimationFX. Let's create a simple jump animation for our character. Here, we've defined a jump animation that moves our character up by 100 pixels and then returns it to the original position. Now, let's call this function from our start method. But first, we need to add a button or keyboard event to trigger the jump. Fantastic! Now, if you run the application, you should be able to press the space key and watch your character jump. Isn't that exciting? Let's add a bit more to our game. How about we create some collectibles that the player can interact with? We've added a collectible image to the scene. Now let's handle the logic to check if our character collects the items. We'll use a simple collision detection based on the bounds of the images. Now, let's add this collision detection to our jump animation method. We can run a check every time the jump animation completes. Feeling accomplished? Because you should. We have our character jumping and collecting coins. But every game needs a scoring system, don't you think? Let's implement that next. Now, every time the player collects a coin, we'll update our score and display it on the screen. Let's modify our coin collection logic accordingly. Awesome! We now have a basic scoring system in place. Next, let's think about adding random collectible generation to spice things up a bit. Every few seconds, we can spawn a new collectible at a random position. We'll use a timeline to automatically spawn collectibles every few seconds. Let's set this up in the start method. Great! Now if you run the application, you should see new collectibles appearing every 2 seconds. Your character can collect them and increase the score. Before we wrap up, let's polish our game a bit. We can add some sound effects when collecting a coin. Let's integrate this sound effect into our coin collection logic. Now our game is engaging with both visual and audio feedback. We've built a simple game using AnimationFX with character movement, collectibles, scoring, and sound effects. You can expand upon this foundation by adding more features, trickier animations, or even levels as you see fit. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed building this game with AnimationFX, and I look forward to seeing what you create with it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Happy coding!